Hello everybody, this is Nicholas Gonzalez. I'm going to be going over the SPRS-20 feature. This is the user story to add basically the platform setup. So we're creating an RPC server that runs on its own thread that then can be connected to a client. The RPC server should start and stop with the game. In retrospect, we probably should have made this, split this user story up, but it's already done, so it's staying as is. So this might be a little bit longer, but yeah, so let's kind of talk about it. Okay, so the acceptance criteria is that it needs to be able to create a thread, its own separate thread, and then start the RPC server there on startup. Then we'll bind some function to test. We'll be able to call that function, and then when we close, we need to be able to end the server when game is closed. The server ends. Okay. So here you go. That's the use case. The sequence diagram might give you a little bit better idea of what happens. Starts the game loads, you begin the RPC server, it initiates this RPC server. Then you can connect from the client, you can give it some type of function to try, it does this function, returns the function, and then we print it in the client so we can see if it worked. Same thing with the end, we end the game, the user ends the game, the engine begins destroying your pawn, and then from there we tell it to end the server. Once the server is done, we can finish destroying the pawn, and then the game can close. These are the main classes in it again. Test cases, and here's an example of how it is. But I think it's best to actually just look at the why don't we look at the code? So okay, let's start with begin RPC. So we're starting an async task in the background, which is our RPC server task, which is right over here. We start it in the background so it doesn't stop our game thread. This is to end it. It's basically just a flag that we set to true or not. And so you see, here's our test function, add, right up there. And the actual task, we start a task, we give it a pointer for our car, and we do some work. And the do work, so it keeps doing this work until, it's told otherwise, so it initiates a server. Basically, the way this auto-delete async task works is it'll run, the thread will run until the task that's in the thread completes. So we are using async run, right? So there was a bug with just normal run for RPC lib that it wouldn't block. So to get around with this, I did an async run, and then I would, I'm just waiting for that stop to be set. When it's set as true, then I can end the game, end the server, and the server will end. Alright, once the server ends, it'll end the server, and that'll be it. Let me actually show that. So this is where it actually destroys the pawn. So it ends the server. Alright, it's very important. Same thing with begin play. This is begin. So this is when you start up the game. This is when you end the game. So we're gonna call our two begin server and end server respectively during their points. Alright, why don't we see this in action? Okay, so you can see the starting RPC server started there. And why don't I connect with it? It's kind of hard to see when it closes because it does it so fast. But if we go and we go look at the log, we can see it. So why don't we do that? Let's get all the way to the bottom. So you see at the end when I closed the thing, the last thing it did was it ended the server, deleted the thread, task deleted, and then it finishes destroying everything else. So that's exactly what we wanted it to do. And yeah, so that's our initial platform setup. We can start and stop our RPC server with our game, and we can bind any function we like. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.